of the chapters that I really appreciated was the calibrate
Yes.
chapter. And I
Yeah.
just wondered if you could just say a little bit about calibrate, what it is and why it matters.
I think calibrate is the piece that's most often not ever thought about or talked about. I think the focus, especially in maybe more traditional professional development training, is about how to be productive, how to be organized and structured, a little bit of process about how to give feedback. But there's little about how do you influence and how do you pay attention to your presence before you get into the room. And that your presence, even before you show up virtually or in person, it's sending a myriad, signals, messages. It's creating the environment and the ecosystem in which people will have that conversation or discussion, or want to have that conversation, or want to implement what's being talked about. So it's like, how do you do your work so that you can be really fully present to what's happening in the room, and leave your own stuff either outside the room or speak it and put it out and be vulnerable about it with people.
Yeah, I love that, because as a facilitator, so deep into thinking about, the design and how am I going to facilitate this, and the group, and preparing for the group, and making sure that you communicate everything you want to before the session, and run the session on time and according to, a flow. And the missing piece for me, and this is why I loved that you really zeroed in on it and your model in the calibrate, is preparing yourself. You have a way of calibrating yourself for your sessions before you lead meetings and
Yeah. Just give an example. I did a podcast interview a little while ago, and before we went live, I said to the host, I said, so let's just take a moment here together and let's just take some deep breaths. And I said, my intention. So I spoke my intention. So that's part of my preparation. It's like, my intention is just to be open and to be of service to these listeners, so that they find just even one little nugget of something that inspires them to take action on, and just to be completely here and work with you to create a really impactful experience for your audience. And she was like, holy crap, wow, that's amazing, that feels great to me. Like I just did an event, designing and facilitating a day with a colleague, and we did, I did the same thing. It's like, here's how I am. I, felt a little anxious about getting everything here, but we did it. We're here, and now we can just open up to the mysteries and insights are going to be revealed in this day, and I'm excited about that. So that's kind of how I do it.
yeah,
Beautiful.
amazing.
So,
and I know there's more in the book that you talk about, and that's just one little, one component of your model.
I just, and like, I think the thing about like leaving like the shit, like sometimes it's, you just have to sort of name it, write it down, and say, okay, I'm going to park you, be back to all these concerns later. Don't worry, I'm not trying to make you wrong. I'm going to get back to these problems in a bit. I just need 1 hour to go and do this call.
Yeah.